smoking is still legal. Secondhand smoke is still allowed. Nobody seems to give a damn that the tobacco industry is because of money. They're allowed to kill people directly with the smoking and kill people indirectly with the secondhand smoke. How many people are dying from lung cancer every year and respiratory issues every year? Which, you know what? Smoking and giving people respiratory issues is now why they are susceptible to the virus. So we're allowing smoking and people getting secondhand smoke, but we're not going to allow people to not wear masks because we're supposed to be inconvenienced in all those different ways just to maybe in a tiny small % chance not infect someone who then may tiny % chance they'll notice it, etc., etc., etc. Wake up, people. The mayors, the governors, you listen to them like they're gospel. Like they have your best interests in mind. Just think about that. Like we go around saving and killing people every day with the chain reaction of events that by doing or not doing something. And do you care? Do you care about people smoking and killing people that way at a way greater level than this virus will ever kill people? So wake up. False equivalency to say, well, you got to wear a seatbelt, you got to take your shoes off at the airport, you can't drunk drive. That's a false equivalency to say, well, you got to wear a mask, you don't have a say in it. It's the false freaking equivalency. You can't go buy dynamite, it's a weapon, but you can go buy a knife, it's a weapon. False equivalency. You get it? This, being forced to do this, versus take your shoes off at the airport, yeah, it's all societal goods, right? It's all good things for society to keep people safe. But what about the smoking, huh? How are we keeping people safe from secondhand smoking? No, we're not. People are going to keep dying from respiratory issues, lung cancer, etc. But we're supposed to wear a mask now because of this false equivalency that doctors and everybody in the professional field, because they got an MD at their title or because they're on CNN or MSNBC, you're supposed to believe them. And now everyone is just walking around and we're seeing mask, just scaring everybody into thinking that this country is a mess and that we need a new direction.
Country started right now to make it safe.
MSNBC pushing everyone wearing a mask. He's not having it.
Everybody in the country started to wear a mask tomorrow. Could we be in a place
the doctor
where the curves flatten
is saying
in
all masks except the medical masks are worthless?
We don't see any more new spikes.
Yes, but that's going to require, and I hate to say this, that's going to require no more bandana masks. There's a study that just came out suggesting bandana masks and these jerry-rigged T-shirts in front of your face don't do a darn thing. I've seen way too
So all
many
you
to
pro-mask goody-goods, shut the fuck up about
rules
telling
being
people off
enforced
about
in
not
the
wearing
community.
their mask, right? When it's a worthless mask to begin with.
There's going to be a fine if you don't wear a mask.
And now, all the protests, what a combination. What an awesome, massive, epic way to bring down Trump. It took worlds colliding and everything to finally bring him down. How about that? I mean, what an effort. David versus Goliath. But you know what? David might win again. He's going to pull some tricks up his ass. He needs to just cancel the election because everything else has been canceled. If you're not allowed to campaign, why the hell should there be an election? Get real. Democrats are cheating like they've always been cheating. How they bribe illegals for their votes by offering them welfare. Just pop out more and more babies. And now they're cheating by just throwing protests and the plague and masks to make everyone scared by everything they see around them and keep the economy closed so everyone's suffering until after November. Like, Mr. Donald Trump, please, just cancel the election. You gotta play dirty just like the Democrats are doing now. Of course there's gonna be mail-in voting fraud. Are you out of your mind? Can you imagine how little welfare fraud there would be? How little Social Security fraud there would be? How little of these program frauds there would be if you actually had to go in person and apply? Like, there'd be minuscule amounts, but we all know there's huge amounts of welfare fraud, Social Security fraud, unemployment benefits fraud. Why? Because all you got to do is type out a form online or submit it and that's it, or mail it back and you start getting free money. And because it's, People aren't afraid to lie on paper the same way that they would lie in person. So few people are willing to lie in person. So it's true. While in the past, voter fraud has been low because you got to go in person and vote and so some kind of bullshit, and there aren't as many people willing to do that as there are, oh, I could just lie on this piece of paper. You know how many people are willing to do that? Of course there'll be freaking huge amounts of voter fraud. If I get 2 or 3 ballots by mail, of course I'll vote 2-3 times for Trump. But I'm in California, so it's not going to matter. But of course this election is rigged. He can't campaign. I don't care. If neither can campaign, big Sleepy Joe, he doesn't know how to campaign anyway. If you got a guy that's awesome at campaigning and you got a guy that sucks at campaigning because he's no enthusiasm, no energy, Sleepy Joe, then of course, like, oh, it's not an even playing field to say, oh, well, there's no campaigning for either side, so it's fair. No, it's not. Trump rallies, makes or breaks state outcomes. Ask Hillary Clinton about Michigan 2016 or two of the other states she didn't care to go to, but Trump kept rallying all the way into the middle of the night that final week. So if this virus and all the Democrats' corruption with the protests and shutting down the economies and these mayors saying you can't come here and hold rallies and hold large gatherings, if they're going to prevent Trump from having rallies and there's going to be mail-in voting in all these states, it's so rigged, it's so corrupt, it's not an even playing field. And Mr. President, cancel the election. It'll be great coverage for the next 5 months, or cancel it in September. Man, it'll be great daily CNN, MSNBC stuff. Oh, that'd be so awesome. Just cancel it. It's a BS year for an election. Everything else has been canceled, from church to sports to everything that is good for our mental health and making life worth living. All because there's this less than 1% chance of us getting sick from a virus.
It's incredible. Calls to suicide hotline for February and March are up 8,000%. According to Orange County Register, they have, let's see here, I'm just reading a little further here. They operate 10 locations around Los Angeles and Orange County, and they're now hiring and training more staff to man the hotlines. So if you know anybody who needs help, do not hesitate to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. Remember, you're not alone. 8,000%.
We're in the upside down world of 2020. That's been proven with the Kobe crash and George Floyd getting 10 memorials and funerals and statues and shrines and murals, etc. And the purge and the protests, and now the mask being like, oh, you don't have a right to not have to do this with your freaking face. You don't have a right to do this. We're in the upside down world, and now add in, mail-in ballots won't have fraud. Give me a break. It's common sense, people. And you're not allowed to campaign. Of course, that hurts Trump massively. Like, you can't just say, oh well, like bad luck, virus. I'm just not gonna be president again. Yeah, right, Mr. President. Cancel this freaking election. Just cancel it. It's bullshit. It's already rigged against you. Like, for real. Like, people have always said, it's rigged, it's this, it's that, fake news. But I've given specific facts here. Why fake news is going on and why this election will be rigged. Why it is already rigged. Like, the writing's on the wall. Get real, people. Like, Democrats, you don't deserve to get the vote. There's no election this year. It's the year of death and cancellations and destruction. All right? BLM, protests, rioting. It's not a year for an election. Get real. Maybe we'll try in 2021. Postpone it, Trump.
People hardcore in there. Look at that guy. Look at that mask. Damn, everyone's so paranoid.